Java Jive. Yes. I've got my Java. It's a new week of life. Spring is here. We made it. And I'm super excited to have a reoccurring guest coming on the podcast today. Oshara is an incredible representative of Seth. Seth Speaks. So if you haven't heard my first conversation with Oshara, head on back and check out that episode of Joe's Java Jive here on everywhere you listen to your podcasts. I'm super excited to be chatting and catching up and bringing them back onto the podcast because this podcast needs to keep going. I need to keep dispatching. It's so important to reach out to the world today, and with guests like Oshara who have a message that I think is kept from too many of us with Seth and with all that is represented by Seth Speaks and Jane Roberts. I'm thrilled to be blowing wind in the sails of the Seth House. If you don't know, in Elmira, New York, in the early 60s all the way through the 80s, a woman named Jane Roberts channeled a spirit, an entity known as Seth, S-E-T-H. And Seth reached out and sold millions of copies of books and dispatches from their mind through this woman, Jane Roberts, and her husband, Robert Butts, who would write down shorthand what was being said. So that's a brief overview. If you want to hear the more juicy stuff, go back to that last conversation. But this is a new time. The world needs this information more than ever. And I'm just super excited about being here and being able to be alive in the same universe as people like Oshara and Seth, which I feel like the information came out back then, but somehow it feels more relevant now than ever. It's pretty amazing. Let's see when we will rise up and actually be ready to understand this material on a deeper level. That the main gist of it is we create our own reality. So somehow you watching this decided to be alive in this time. You decided to be here with Jolly Joe on Joe's Java Jive. Welcome. You're in the right place. I'm going to now go to my conversation with Oshara.
Hi there.
Welcome back, Oshara, to Joe's Java Jive.
Good to see you. And we're going to be...
How are things going? Are you at the Seth House right now?
I'm at the Seth House. It is happening all around me. The Seth House, USA. And we're just going to be casual, even though we're being recorded, and just see what we say, all that fun stuff. So play your guitar.
Yeah, this is a casual chat. We're sipping our coffee and a couple of friends catching up.
Yeah.
That's all this is.
And none of the world has to see it unless we want them to. But anyway, I'll just blurt it out. I've been depressed for over a month. It's like one thing after the next has fallen through, has not worked out. I haven't been able to finish some projects, and yet when I tune in, I feel like, boom, I'm plugged into the universal good stuff. It's just that physical reality is getting to be a laughing matter. Well, yes. Just with me personally, no one else. But just kind of, like I said, some people, a few people, said they wanted to help and volunteer, and they bailed. And I was getting things ready to pass over to them. And one guy actually does now have all the passwords to all of our online social media, everything. And great. He backed out of helping. But he still has all our passwords. But I don't think he's going to do anything, so I'm not going to run around and change all the freaking passwords. It's just, I'd like there to be the same story. But a good story. I'd like there to be more people involved with
Yeah.
whatever is going
Me too.
on here.
Yeah. Absolutely, and this is an interesting time of year. It's supposed to start blooming now, and all this stuff
Spring.
will hopefully turn in after a cold winter of like reemergence. That's what now is all about.
And I'm feeling springtime all around. I'm running out every day and seeing the little bitty green heads that are poking up, getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I'm so excited because I really planted so many plants last year, bulbs and perennials,
Yeah.
and they're popping back and they're looking beautiful, and I'm so happy. And I think that's my
Aw,
greatest
glad.
joy is watching spring start to, pop its head up. And,
Yeah.
yeah, and, there's 1,000 things this house can become. It's just that part of the journey has been, God, I've been working hard for 8 years. God, it's amazing, though, what is here and the community that is connected with it and what the future can
Yeah.
be. And just got to snap out
I
of it.
know how hard it is when you're counting on somebody to help out too, or thinking that there's this new opportunity, and then if it falls through, it's kind of this disappointment. And I've had that recently too with some fellow comedians or people where you really hope that they're on your same vibe and like that you're all in this together, and then sometimes it's just not. It's they're not ready yet.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to face, but I've kind of found a way of moving in with my improv troupe and things where I have this kind of sense of like this is a rocket ship that's already flying. Where we make some trips where we go down to Earth and hope that some new people come in, but we're moving at a fast speed, and like you're either on the bus or off the bus.
Yeah.
And that's a revolving door where they might be off now, but in a couple of months, people might be back and knocking at your door.
Right, and that's there too. Or even I'm bumping into people who I met 2-3 years ago who are like wanting to rekindle and redo stuff. Things have changed for them, and they're wanting to engage in some Seth stuff in Oneata. And have me go out there to speak, and I would speak with one of them. We're planning and show Seth audios, videos, book stuff, and really put on like a whole like 3-hour workshop kind of thing about Seth.
Wow.
So, and that was a connection we made, like I said, before COVID. And oh my God, before COVID is further away, isn't it? Yes, 5 years maybe.
Yeah, 5 years ago. This March.
And now we're really wanting to do something, and we're on their calendar at their church. They're a metaphysical New Age church, so it's like, okay, some things are coming back, and we're excited. But yeah, it's just like hang in there and trust that people coming and going, or times changing. Just trust. Either it'll be again later or something better. And
Yep. And summer is coming, and the harvest of all of those things kind of coming to fruition. I really do believe it with me. You've got somebody who really believes so much in this material and has witnessed it change my life in the last few months. And I want to be a Seth disciple of some kind, and that's why we're here today. Keep it. You're as close as I can get to the source. Other than reading the material, listening to the material, it's talking to you. So
I love
it's
talking
an honor
with you
to have
about
you
because instantly there's this. We get it. We love it. Let's talk about it all. We're having human lives too, but this is what makes sense of having human lives. Is reading this stuff and the insights that Seth brings, and that there's just a lot more to this reality than complaining about it.
Absolutely. Well, that focus it's necessary to hold space for that, and I don't like brushing over it. I'm working on it in my life. Of actually, a big part of all this stuff is holding space and feeling those feelings, and being there with someone, meeting you where you're at, So I do want to acknowledge that and work that I'm working on that.
Yeah, man. And I as I've said or texted before, it's like I love what you are doing. You are putting your creativity out in the world, putting your message out in the world, bringing people together. I just feel you're a Seth live wire that whatever you do is going to, flow through you from the highest intentions and highest good. It's like, that's what we need, man.
Yeah, they were talking about that. We were on another Seth group, and it was just this moment of like we're reading an excerpt, you and I, this weekend about the actor. Seth talks about being an actor almost, and back to that Shakespearean discussion, and it's like we're all in this play, and I find that the opposite of depression is not happiness, but it's expression. It's creativity, and that when we get into the flow state of creation, creating our own realities, or creating an art piece, or creating, for me, events, gathering opportunities, those are what really is the water that puts out the fire of depression or anxiety for me.
God, I love that. I'm just jotting it down. Like, depression really is energy that's stopped. Like, depression comes from I want to love or love someone or be loving, and it's not flowing. There's no one who wants to share love. Or there's these dreams I have, these creativities I want to manifest, and it's like, it's the energy is stopped. And so energy flowing, that's really insightful of you. Energy flowing the way we naturally would flow is happiness, joy, natural. But when it's stymied or stuck or not flowing, yeah, you get depressed. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, it's not the good feeling. Yeah.
And you feel tired, and I like how I think I heard Jim Carrey say it, deep rest. You need deep rest when you're depressed, because that energy is kind of so overwhelming and it's not going out. It's almost like you just need to go into the dream state and really get a big solid nap in all the time. And I love that in this culture, we really push against that idea of rest and of sleep and sleeping the days away. But Jolly Joe Jester, I released a song from my mom's wisdom called Needed It. And the whole thing is that when you would wake up from a nap and my mom was there, she would say, you must have needed it. You must have needed that sleep and that time and that deep rest. And like, that's it. No shaming, no sleep shaming. And I've been talking about that on stage, just how we have to give ourselves that chance, and realizing through reading Dreams, Evolution, and Value Fulfillment, one of Jane's last books, like, there's a lot more going on than just filling the battery of energy. When you dream, you really heal a lot of this stuff and solve problems that are beyond, your real world.
Yeah, because there's the multidimensional aspect. It's not just little me. There's other layers of me and divine timing that need to flow a certain way. And I got to tell you, what you said though, what is curtailing the depression is tuning into spirit and getting that exact message you're saying. I'm being told, stop everything. Just stop everything. And again, the rest, I like that deep rest. But because, like I'm wanting to do things and I'm like trying to push something that's just not pushable. And so a few days ago, I saw my aunt who's in assisted living. She's 97. And we were both depressed. And it was last week. And, every time I see her once or twice a week, we talk about 3 hours, and it feels good. I love her. I want her to keep staying here. But there was really talking about being depressed. She can't get out hardly, really. And so she's like, what'd she say? She was so glad she was given all these extra years, but she wishes she had something to do with it. That wasn't just inside and, dealing with health and body. But, to talk with her, something did kind of break in my just down for, like I said, over a month. This is fucked up. Sorry, audience. Adult supervision here. But yeah, to the message I got to stop everything. But then some miracles started happening in the last 2 visits I had with her that I don't, maybe I'll go into a little later, but I think I just want to address what you were just saying. When you're starting to get depressed, starting to push, things aren't working, you feel abandoned or something, just stop it. And then I things got better. Things just got better. And then allowing yourself to recalibrate and get new intuitions about, well, if that's not working, where should I go? What should I do? Rest, but allow things to just let go. Okay, that road wasn't open. Now what? The moment of power is now. Anything happens now. So let's get back to the power of, just being present and relax already.
I love it. Yeah, I think you're so right. And there's this sense of moving closer to the problem or the feeling. Some wisdom I've had recently of like moving, you have to somehow go through it before you can heal from it. Like, it's a constant thing of, we try to run away often from these feelings or push them down or escape in some way. But you're so right that actually acknowledging them, and rather than saying stop it, I would say start it. Go through it, let it take over you and completely, and then you come through the tunnel the other side. That's one piece I'm learning recently. When it comes in terms of even physical pain and other things like that, I've been hearing that.
That's just part of the skill set we need to have of dealing with disappointment, dealing with, XYZ, 1,000 things on the list. Part of what we're learning here on Earth is how to, deal with it and change and re-envision a whole new vision and joyfully step into the next thing. I'm still in a little bit of a stop, rest, get my energy back, but it's not depressed anymore.
Yeah.
It's okay, I'm reinventing.
That's it. I was moving probably faster than my body was last week. I was doing so many different gigs and practicing with an older gentleman who's been on the podcast. Dagan and I were doing a show, and I started to get a pain in my neck, like a kind of a crooked thing that luckily is gone right now. But I had to really give it its time, process it, wrap it up in some comfrey salve and massage it and a heating pad. And it was like my body telling me, you are pushing, you're pushing it. And I don't know if I was matching with the equal amount of yoga and flexibility training and stretching and things that I should be doing as my life heats up and I keep adding more and more. I have to increase my stretching and my yoga and my centeredness and my posture, all these little moments of mindfulness. I'm realizing if you just speed up and you don't have any of that stuff in place, your body's going to yell at you about it somehow.
God, I'm so glad you're bringing up body, because that is something I just started Friday and then yesterday, Monday. I had been thinking about this for well over a year. There's this a fitness center, and they had a good vibe. And I've been just kind of thinking about it. And then it just came to me, go. And so I went Friday, loved it. The thing I like is the classes where, they have like 20, 30 people all, kicking their foot at the same, trying to kick their foot together, or whatever. We're doing
Rockettes.
Yeah, and it was wait, I like this. I like the music. I like the teacher. I like the group. Everyone's nice. So I joined, and I went again yesterday, and then when I go tomorrow, I'm going to go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, because that's when they have the classes I like. So I'm feeling excited. I just put something exciting in my life, going to a fitness gym center which is like, oh my, the feeling. I forgot I had a body, and I wasn't even astral. I was in my body, and I forgot, oh, look at this thing, yeah. So I needed to do these stretches you're talking about, yoga. I needed to do these movements. I needed to, and so I'm like, after 2 hours of it, I wasn't in pain, even though I popped a couple ibuprofens. I was fine, and I'm getting my energy. So this is a new thing that I'm looking forward to, is just go there, interact with people, get in touch with my body in healthy ways. That really is important.
Yeah.
God.
That's going to transform things for you. I know it is. And having it in a routine like that, I love having that. And then it's people like us do things like this. It kind of creates this vibe of a higher self. And it's an act of love for yourself to do stuff like that. Every walk I go on, every time I get myself to a class or a workshop, or I did a clowning workshop this weekend with people in New Paltz where we were exploring our inner clown.
Nice.
And it was a 5-hour workshop on a Saturday, and we had a great time and deep work with those people's souls. So I love it, powering through and getting in the room with other people. That's our message, how we all get out of this, because I think what we're feeling is a reflection of what everybody's feeling. Isolated, lonely, depressed, sore, like we've all been through a lot. However, I think what we're working on is how can we get each other feeling safe and united in this, because we are all in this together.
Yeah, and the more we connect with others, and don't talk about the stuff that's so touchy right now today. Don't talk about it, just avoid it. And I think there's this, and like, so I'm in a room full of people who probably do not share my spiritual thing. Great, that's fine. You're just real human beings, and walking up to me and saying, oh, you're new, welcome. I just got seen. And if you knew everything about me, you would hate me. So let's not go there. Let's just
by that.
Hi, you're new. Hi, this is wonderful here. Thank you. I love you so much.
Yeah.
So, and
that's it.
It's just get us human again. Just get us interacting normal, whatever that ever was. But I think it's the most.
And don't hate people if they are different from you, because that's the whole thing. Is that I coming from Elmira, New York, and having it be a really, conservative, almost stuck in the 70s. Like some parts of it look like that old era, run down a bit, and it's finally, I think, really seen a lot of rebirth in the last couple of years. Like ever since even you got there, the last 8 years, there's been a transformation.
Yes.
But finding a way to, even if we believe totally different things.
So what? We're united with our humanness. I'm sorry.
Bring it back to the fire.
Yeah.
Bring it back to all of us gathered around a bonfire. Even if it's like you're totally on the other side of the spectrum, how can we go back to the fire?
Yeah. I remember when we just lived that way, where I don't care what your religion or your politics is, let's just, go fishing or whatever,
Yeah.
And
one thing I did on stage in that recent vibe, and it felt kind of like my new character, who I've told you about, which is Seth, PH, Joseph. So I kind of got up there on stage and I said, I think each one of my hairs is alive and has a story to tell. And I'm holding it up and I say, this one here is my Italian heritage. This one is a Chinese Buddhist. This is the Islamic, Middle Eastern, Lebanese. This is my Jewish side. This is my trans immigrant. This is all of that, and I'm saying if you have problems with any of that, it's all here. It's all Jolly Joe represents everybody, and this, even we're all together. You truly represent everybody too. Even if you're in denial about it, our spirit is connected to all of the religions, all of the different types of people. We're on a cellular level, we're all one. I really have been connecting with that lately.
And it's interesting. There's kind of think of life on Earth as one big college catalog, and I don't want to take all the classes. There's some classes in criminology that a lot of people seem to be taking, but I don't want to take that one. And just what you said, too, all the nationalities, the religions, everything that one can study here, it's in the big catalog. And we're not here to take, there's a few classes I'm taking that I'm glad. And somebody might be taking completely different classes, but you know what? We all get a lunch break and we can all eat together, even if we're taking different classes. Where'd we walk?
And we can all dance together on the dance floor, and that's what it really is. It's this endless dance of life. That's what it should be, and not, I think so many people, I'm realizing that the energy of dancing and being in that class like you described, that Shiva energy of the dancing, happy individuals, to me, that's really where we are. That's the Soul Train vibe I'm trying to bring back into this culture. Yeah, that's your generation. You watched it, and in my local comedy things at a dive bar, I'm hosting it and giving it my all with my friend Dagan. We hosted a show day after St. Patrick's Day, but we got that whole place connected and listening to each other and giving one at a time somebody a chance on the microphone, and then making them feel like a superstar no matter how it went. So that's my kind of way of doing this and building a platform for people. And we said no hate speech. Don't put anybody down. No, comedy shouldn't be a place to punch down or attack any one group of people. And we were the peace police, making sure it stayed on a good track there.
God, it's so good what you're talking about here. No self-hate either. So much... comedy is self-effacing, putting oneself down too often as well, and not just, anyway, comedy
it's true. A guy like me can get up there and poke fun at the way he looks or the way he sounds or minimize himself, or he can get up there like a superstar and saying, I'm larger than life. I am an entity, on my own here. I'm a huge, I'm contained multitudes, Walt Whitman style. So that's what I'm realizing is more my vibe, is to go up there and inspire people and with a message of love and togetherness, but also I want to see your crazy self up there next time. Let's bring your wild child on the stage to be full and show us all their vulnerability and their truth. That's what I want to inspire.
Yeah, man. God, what if we were a people that we're not afraid and we don't stop our energy. We trust our good, spontaneous joy and share it. And unafraid, Yeah.
That's it. And unafraid, that's the treat, is that when we all stop believing that we're not supposed to dance, we're not supposed to sing, we're not supposed to get up in front of everyone and talk, that's when we take our power back. Because I think the world and the culture is designed to make you feel small. Like John Lennon says, as soon as you're born, they make you feel small by giving you no time instead of it all. We're all working class heroes. And then when you are given a chance, given that power of a microphone where you're just a little bit more amplified than normal, and you have that everyone looking at you, I'm trying to get to a place where I don't keep going back to my written jokes. I'm channeling up there. I'm doing my version of what needs to be said now and what does my spirit want to say. And I'll listen for a little intuition or a little concept throughout the day leading up, and I'll say, okay, That's it. I'm going to do that on stage tonight, and it's kind of exhilarating. It's like riding a roller coaster that doesn't have a rail. You don't know where it's going to go. But I love it, and honestly, I don't know if I would be doing it if not for this Seth revolution in my life. I think it's really given me this sense of my path and what I need to do next.
Now, how long have you been the Seth head? When did it begin? About a year or two ago?
Yeah, I would say when I first met you, and I, folks can go back to our first conversation for the full story, but when May of 2024, when on the anniversary of my mom's death, I was going through Seth Speaks for the first time on an audiobook, listening to the reincarnation section when my car literally was reincarnated and had the engine die. And I said, I'm going to be in town for a week. I think Seth is trying to tell me to go connect with the SETH House.
Wow.
And since then, I nailed 30 stand-up acts that year. Last year, I did one for every year of my age. I was 27 years, and I ended up doing 29, 30 sets, in addition to all of my improv and all these other things. So I'm taking time to realize, like, that's pretty remarkable, all of this stuff, and that I don't often stop and look back on what I'm doing, because you can't drive a car looking through the rear view mirror. Mm-hmm. You have to kind of look out the front. So I'm not one to really stop and pat myself on the back, but realizing it in moments like these, I'm on a path, and it's only going up from here. And anything I can do to spread this kind of a message at the underbelly of my act, if I can continue people down this awakening like Seth has for so many, then you're doing God's work on another level. So
and I do believe that the future is going to be a lot more conversation about the greater reality and who we really are. It already is, but for it to take to the stage and to HBO and to podcasts are talking about this stuff, and websites and YouTube. I mean, people are talking about this stuff, but to bring it into the comedy realm where it's teaching and it's, there's so much. When, we've said, when you got people laughing, you got them listening, but this stuff is jolly.
Yeah.
Reality is fun and can be very funny and should be the real thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and visionary too. Like, let's look ahead with hope of what could be. That's a rich place to find humor. Imagine a world so different from this in all the right ways.
Exactly.
You don't hear a lot of that.
Yeah, we create our own reality, so how do we want to create it now? Don't even think about what you think it is now. Let's just superimpose everything with the new vision of who we are and how we can be.
Oh, that's it. And I think more than ever, the culture is ready. We're seeing the powers that be are more than ever, trying to contain us and trying to bully the people and spread these different ideologies. But at the end of the day, if you look at other people and you get together, with your community around you, I think you'll see that all of that other stuff is kind of irrelevant if we band together on a zoomed-in level. That's where the magic happens. Mutual aid, taking care of your neighbor, the people in your immediate surroundings, and even deeper, inside yourself. If you work on those issues first, you're helping change the world by changing yourself to rise to a higher vibration and align with other like-minded individuals. That's the goal.
Everything you just said, put that on the stage, just throw in 2 or 3 more jokes, and you got a great gig.
Yes, absolutely. Yep, that's it. And I think I'm finding the ways to do it with navigating them, and shocking people with what it really is today mixed in there. Instead of today where it's like this, blah, 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 blah. Imagine this. Imagine a world where we all are sweet to each other, where we all have signs that say, come sit on my porch and have a cup of coffee.
Wow.
I saw a sign like that in Elmira.
Wow.
Come sit on my porch. Who says that?
Wow. I can feel that. Something inside my body just kind of goes warmer, brighter, lighter. Yes, and it's going to be so beautiful. It is so beautiful. Re-engaging with each other in a new way.
Yeah.
And it's meeting heart to heart, spirit to spirit. But who we really are.
Yeah. The brothers and sisters out there who I think have a sense of what time was like over the last hundreds of years, that we really have it easier than ever in this present timeline right now, 2025, that don't let the media and the world convince you that everyone outside wants to come inside and rape, murder and kill and rob and steal, and like that's the demons that Seth talks about, that if you really believe in that, you're just kind of filling up your own reality with this belief that everyone's out to get you, and you're actually seeking that out. You're looking for people to mug you and looking for things to happen. I was very moved by that chapter, because I think that is what's happening on a major level, is that people are made to feel that all of the others are bad, and that really I just need to sit home and watch my favorite channel, and that's all the comfort I need, and order food delivered to my house, and just drop it off. Don't even say hi to me. Just drop it and take a picture of it and leave. Like, that's the culture they want, to keep everybody separate and to keep us all purchasing as many things as we can that equal happiness. But that's not what we want. We want to see the music festival culture. We want to see music out of every house. Come sit on my porch. Mutual aid. Everybody come together and help rebuild the house that just burned down, and come over for dinner. Like, that vibe has always been in America, but also it has been mixed with racism and issues and classism and different things that have kept it down. And I think it's time that we rise up and show the other people that we really do want to get to know each other. And it starts with our little interactions on a human level, but our spirits already know each other. You're going to find that there's old friends out there waiting to meet you that you have a shared spirit with, but you have been neglecting it and have your tunnel vision on, which is why you feel so alone. That's what I would say to most people right now.
That's great. Just put a few more jokes in there, and you're going to have a great routine.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to all talk like visionaries now, because now's the time to be a visionary. One thing I'd say so there seems to be, with our worldview of how we assess what the world is, we're getting sales pitches for some pretty sorry sights. I'm agreeing with you. But one thing about, like, just the day-to-day, I don't really live in that mega worldview of here's the news of the world. I live here. Let me show you this. It's a window. And you can't see, but there's a street out there, houses and pedestrians. I live there. I live here in a house.
That's where we're at.
And sometimes I carry on some ideas and I catch them. I'm saying like, don't do that. Or I actually have things in my head that say, getting my feelings hurt, getting people saying bad things to me or about me. I'm going to get my heart broken again. Oh my God, it's a given. If I try to talk to someone, don't. That person will just like rip into your rib cage, heart, ground, stomp, laugh, and call you bad names. Not literally that one, but it's getting too close. So to catch those thoughts and say, no, I don't want that vision in my head about how I'm interacting with others. I want those pictures of I'm just laughing with people. It's just joy. Someone saying, hi, welcome. Thank thank you. Without being too creepy. I haven't reached out and grabbed anyone yet at the gym, so don't worry.
Well, it's funny you say that, because that's what I've learned about this rainbow gatherings that have been going on around the world for the last, since the 60s, 68, 67.
Yes.
But that's what they say to you. When you get to your first rainbow gathering, they say, welcome home, and they'll hug you. And it's exactly what I've heard of what you're describing. That's a key. That's as close as we can get in a lot of ways. But expanding that to our daily life is the goal.
Yeah, we want to feel safe and part of the human family. And I have to start that movement in my own within 6 feet of me, just to and to just
but you
stop
have
imagining.
the place there that you got the Seth House behind you. So when you say, hey, I'm opening the Seth House like you have in the past, this will be our coffee hour, anybody come, that regular basis kind of a thing is going to open the door, and people are going to start to say, let me go check out what this is about finally. It might take a few months of regular seeing it 50 times for somebody who's really closed off to say, gosh, I'm going to go down. Today's the day. I see it. I'm going in. Yeah, here I am. I feel like, okay, the psychic stuff. Let's just do a big jump. The spiritual psychic guidance stuff, that's my go-to. It's like, there will be a time for so many things here. And something says, there's a certain timing I have to know about. There's a certain, and it's like, I know there's something there. Like right now, we're just starting spring. It's like I can start putting pressure on myself. Gotta do something. Just grab something to do and do it. No. Get the intuitive, get the connection with other people who want to create. So as we venture out into the world, we got to do it in a peaceful, centered, spiritually congruent way. Because I know how to just rush in and run right into a wall and hurt myself. I don't need to get a master's degree in that. An associate's degree was enough. So just I love that.
Just to get more and more at peace. Yeah. Okay. There's an assignment there. I won't talk too much about it, but I think you get the idea. Yeah.
I get the idea, because I especially agree with you that when things are the right timing, they do happen naturally. When someone's knocking at your door, it's time, but there is this sense of taking it and marinating on it and looking a couple of months ahead and saying, ooh, let me look at the calendars and see, May, the end of May, it looks good for something, That kind of starts to create a buzz and a community where people can kind of have something to look forward to. That I think that is going to be an assister. But like you're doing virtually with different groups, I'm inspired to find out my local Sethians and have you be as a person who can help facilitate that group and get us started on the right track. And a room full of people in person, and you from the Seth House as an introduction. That sounds like an amazing way to dispatch what we're doing here and get people on board. Yeah. It's exciting.
Yeah. It's so neat that we've both signed up on the big clipboards in the sky that are entitled, How Can I Help? How Can I Serve? And we got our name on the clipboard.
Yes.
So that every now and then they go, okay, she volunteered. Let's give her a vision.
Let's you're up.
You're up.
Yeah, that's true.
The thing with Seth and tuning into that spiritual reality, and that as we're part of that new awakening of Seth's ideas and not just applying them to our life. I mean, our life this is the way of life, and getting more closely aligned to it. And we're both in there. We're both reading it, studying it, and letting it sink in and meditating on it and talking to it. I think the communication with it, it's not a far away thing. It's a right here, be in your own soul field and be in your own joy. I mean, it's a whole new way of being at all, is to be in the soul of who you are.
Yes. The soul of who you are, and the soul of who you are is deeper than just your personality. I've been studying and getting on this Robert Anton Wilson vibe. I just discovered him, the old guy from like the Timothy Leary era, but he's very outspoken about how he is like a constellation of entities wrapped inside this one physical being. And I said, oh, that sounds familiar. It's got this, all of these spiritual forces are aware that it's more than just your name. Your name means, yes, this collection of cells, this personality, this birthplace, but that there's other beings around who are coming through who want to assist you and want to help carry you to the next step. And I'm starting to get more open to it. I think when I first met you and started thinking about it, I said, oh, this is great to hear about, but it doesn't happen for me. And now I'm starting to realize, okay, here's where it comes in. And talking to an old friend from Elmira, he said, Joe, you remembered talking to me like the most deep philosophical stuff, like when we were 14, that no other 14-year-olds were talking about. And we would go deep in and talk about money and society and spirituality and life and death and heaven and why can't this world be better and closer. And I realized, okay, yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. And that is the version of me that is most true and is most letting it flow and waking people up. It's not all about wearing a nice branded shirt with the right logo on it. Like, there's more to this trip. Let's have everybody over for a party and wake up. But my generation, we're doing a lot of this. Not a lot of partying, a lot of texting, and that's where I feel like we need to realize, wake up, dance, connect with your fellow friends, and have those spiritual conversations, and listen to yourself. Listen to what you have to say, and others.
God, yes. And that's, to be having those conversations you had when you were 14, and me in my childhood too. I was like, this is what's going on. Let's ask, let's talk, what's it for you? To have those conversations one-on-one or in groups, coming together for these conversations, finding the conversations on our silly little machine too that really are eye-opening and awakening and thought-provoking. And I think that's part of the depression too, is we're not having enough of those one-on-one or one-on-20 conversations that inspire. Like when I hear you say something, what a gift! Isn't that the greatest gift? When someone says something that, you get some light inside, the cranium goes, ooh, that's brighter now. That's the greatest gift.
It's the best gift ever, and I'm lucky that I witnessed my mom when she was alive, always on the phone with others. Talking, texting is one thing, but phone calls, if you have a network of people that when you're having a slow, quiet moment and you've done your things and you say, hey, it's a Sunday afternoon, let me call my childhood friend, let me call my older friend who lives here and doesn't have anybody, let me call a young person who's, see what they're doing, see what's up. It creates this constellation that we all need.
Oh my God.
Support system.
You're so right, and that's the other higher use of the machine, is the conversation part, not just the, social media, but the
distraction.
The entertainment. Ugh. But these conversations, that's what we need. And I remember what it was. It was like the people. If you want to how we make friends, how we keep friends, is calling. I mean, I've got a list of people I wish I could call more or talk with more often or see more often. Well, just do it. To just out of nowhere call someone. They'll be thrilled to hear from you.
Yeah.
but just to, or text or call, or because that's how we create friendships. That's how we have friends, is by communicating with each other, making a point to say, I see you, I miss you, let's talk. How's this? How's that? I'm listening.
Yeah. Because we're all struggling on our own ways, and that extra help of having a phone a friend. I always tell people whenever I'm on a stage, I say, you're never alone. Jolly Joe, you've got a friend in Jolly Joe Jester, and that call me up, message me on social media. I'll never be too big or too famous or too whatever busy to heed the call of a friend who feels alone and feels down in the dumps. And that's my thing. I don't surround myself with people who are constantly down in the dumps, because then if that's all someone talks about, they're kind of keeping themselves there. But it's this combination of feeling down in the dumps and a vision of what up in the clouds looks like. Mm-hmm. And how can I help you see that vision and be an accountability buddy, as they say, and witness you rise. You like that? I
like it. And it doesn't take much to bring someone out of the dumps. Here we are having a conversation where we both started out a little dumpier, and now we're a little fluffier. And
that's it.
Yeah.
And that's our goal. We don't have many people focusing on this task. I mean, I want to be careful how I say it, because I think there's a bunch of people who are on the verge of becoming healers in this generation. They're on the verge. They're like shamans in training. They're one light switch away from truly embracing all of their power. And I think it's all going to happen at once here. In the next 5 years, I think we're really going to see a transformation that is going to be different than what we've ever expected, and more beautiful than we've ever expected. That has to be on our minds, because too many people are saying, oh shit, World War III's coming down the pipeline, I feel it. I'm so sick of that. It's time to imagine the next generation. What would it look like if Woodstock is coming back? I feel it this summer. I hear the drumming. We're gonna keep it going more than just 3 days of peace and music. Let's have 3 lifetimes of it. Come on.
And I think, as you're saying, these things, I think it's starting now. Something about 2025 was it begins. Something, it's really kick-starting. And in big ways of an awakening, a spiritual awareness, where we know more about who we are individually, which means we'll know about who we are collectively, which means we'll start acting, feeling, seeing differently.
Yeah. It's happening. I feel a major shift in it all. And I think that as a country in America right now, we have our own demons that we have to face. And I think a big part of it that people are not realizing is that we are the party of love. We are the people of love. We want to create the opposite of the fear-based approach, and create this sense of community, belonging, and helping make sure that we pick up those who fall. And we're there. We're a safety net. And I think that's something we can all get behind. There's stories of when life gets you down and your community can help get you back up and get you back on your feet. And that's the stories that I want to help tell. And I know with Seth, we have all the wisdom we need to help guide us along the way. And I think that it's also going to continue. I think the next Seth is right around the corner and is screaming, I'm ready. I'm ready to come out and tell you all about the next chapter, where we left off. That's my belief. I really feel that's on the cusp.
I believe that too. There's going to be some major Seth, or whatever name, speakers, oracles, wisdom teachers that are plugged into on high, like from the on high that Seth was, that we are going to get those breakthroughs in consciousness and beings who can give us the next load of amazing truth. I mean, we're wanting the truth. They're those who have the truth. They want to give it to us. It can't be avoided. It's the timing, the divine timing is going to present itself for sharing this higher wisdom, the next level.
And how can you recommend people get closer to that within themselves?
You know, there's something, okay. We are all a multiplicity. We are all, aspects. There are many aspects in all of us. All of our past lives and future lives are happening at once in this timeless universe. All these probable selves, all these higher selves. We need to dive deep into what we truly are, be open to getting a new message about what we really are. And that is that, let me say, we are a multiplicity of people, and we are all healers. There are parts of you, your energy, your wiring, that have been, has been, will be a master healer. I'm talking healing. I'm talking like special effects and throw your crutches away, you walk, you see, you sing better than you've ever sang. We are that. We have that in our cosmic DNA, that we are healers to ourselves, healers to each other, healers to the world. Call upon the healer you are, because that is the real deal. So bringing in the healing, tap into also the wisdom speaker that you are. Tap into the great creator you are. Say yes to all that stuff. Choose all the best and the brightest, because that's really what you are, what we are, what everyone is. Choosing the best and the brightest of your infinite soulscape of personality. That's it. And just stay with it. Feel with it. Hold that focus and that purpose. Come back to it. The realization of how vast you are, and choosing the highest light, that this infinite energy to bring into this manifestation of who you are.
It's right there. Oh, thank you, Oshara. That very well said. It's almost like it's right there. There's no physical separation between it. It's like you can think of it as like a ghost who's right next to you all the time, and it's all of your past and probable and future selves right there, telling you, here's how you do it, or here's what's next, and we will guide you. So just drive me to the right place and let me let go.
And take it on, be it. It's as close as your soul. You are your soul. The composition of your soul has everything. Feel that, be that, and allow it to surprise you and manifest in ways we can't even imagine yet, but we will become that becoming.
Yep, it's happening. I feel it majorly these days, and a newfound acceptance of what's going to come. So I feel that we've done the public justice just by getting on this conversation, because it's an ongoing conversation with you, Oshara. I think you're so brilliant and have a real active interest in ushering in these new times. And I love that I've connected with you and the Seth House here on this podcast. And hopefully we help bring somebody else out of the dumps today as well. That's the real goal.
And return you to your true self and the infinite energy you are. And yes, make the new vision of who you are. It's going to be better than anything, because now it's like, realizing you're plugged in to the infinite love, the infinite light, the infinite you. I mean, once we start living that way, everything is going to be right on track, purposeful, beautiful, loving.
Yes. Don't dream it, be it. You've got it, folks. You've got the power.
That came from Rocky
Thank
Horror.
You so much.
Don't dream it, be it. Rocky Horror Picture Show 50-year anniversary.
Don't dream it. Be it.
Be it. 50 years ago that came out. And it's a good song. Be it, don't dream it, and or however you want to sing your own song. It's life is who we are. And so we get to practice all kinds of things here, but let's really live.
Let's do it. You and me together and the rest of the world right behind us. Let's live. Let's live this beautiful life. We got infinite chances to make it right. Let's live. Tonight's the night. Come sit on my porch, let's laugh, everything's alright. Jolly Joe, we're going far, and from the Seth House, Oshara, you will see we can create our own reality. You and me and us.
You got something there.
Closing
Joe.
song.
You got something there.
I love it. Well, thank you, B, for being here. Blessings to you, and until we meet again on Joe's Java Jive, I will see you in the other life.
Infinite oneness, love and light. Let's do this thing and love it.
I love it. Let's do it, folks. Peace.